There is a crisis on the Spokane River as summer comes to an end. Some sections of the river are completely dry. Last week, we showed you shocking scenes of what's left of the river in Spokane Valley, but we wanted to look at the bigger picture. Why is this happening? What, if anything, can be done about it? Meteorologist Matt Gray was keeping track of this story all summer long. And Matt, it's really something to see.
Yeah, it's shocking to see, really. And unfortunately, I had that awful feeling, right? That river levels were going to end up being a story this year. It was a dry spring. We had early snow melt. And earlier this summer, I took a trip along a different section of the river, exploring the river's relationship with the aquifer, which is the source of all of our drinking water, most of you that are watching at home. Now, little did I know how much more important that information would seem almost 2 months later after what happened last week.
It's mid-July, and I joined Spokane River Keeper for a float from Peoples Park to TJ Meanock Bridge. The goal is to see this. Waterkeeper Caitlin Scott calls this area Three Springs. At this time of year, this part of the river is below the top of the aquifer, and the water flows out from the hillside to feed the river with cold, clear water.
In the summer, that's really important because about 60% of the river's annual flows come from the aquifer, and that's mostly during the summertime. That's mostly after snowmelt has melted away, and it's not getting water from anywhere else. We don't have rain right now.
In fact, much of this stretch of river is right up against the top of the aquifer. The groundwater feeds the river here and in 3 other stretches of river between 9 Mile and Lake Coeur d'Alene. Everywhere else, however, the river loses water to the aquifer below. That's what happened to the parts of the river that dried out in August. The lower the water level is in the aquifer below, the more likely water is taken from above. As we wind our way down the river, Caitlin points out shallow stream beds and shady areas on the edge of the river where species like red band trout lay eggs and take shelter from hot weather. As the river flows drop, that habitat dries up too.
This channel right here behind us would probably be completely dry, which is prime trout habitat and prime aquatic insect habitat that we need for those fish to survive.
So it's been almost 2 months since that interview, and we are back in the same spot here at Peoples Park in Spokane. And the water level, about 26% less flow in the river, and that water level is way down. That's exposed a lot of this cobbled stone, and a lot more of that trout habitat, that fish habitat, is unavailable and will be until the rains come in the fall.
The only solution this year is to wait for the fall rains to recharge the aquifer, but can we help stop it from happening again next year? Summertime is when our communities take the most water out of the aquifer and contribute the most to lowering its level. A lot of that extra water is for lawns, gardens, and green spaces. Spokane Waterkeeper says that cutting back even a little on water use in the summer can make a valuable difference for the river's wildlife.
That doesn't mean you have to kill your garden. It doesn't mean your lawn has to go brown even. It just means you use smarter practices to ensure that we're using our resources wisely.